County Board of Education. Our student rep will, what I say, July. Well, anyway, we're in June. We didn't skip a month or anything. June the 5th, 2025. And Kaylee will do our pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I know.
Our vision statement: Lincoln County Schools equipping students to learn, conquer, and succeed. Our mission statement: the mission of Lincoln County Schools, in partnership with students, staff, parents, and the community, is to equip students with the skills necessary to be lifelong, productive citizens in an ever-changing global society.
We will now set the meeting agenda. Do I hear a motion?
We'll make a motion.
Tyler, second. With Philip, vote. Philip,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Motion carried. And now we will honor our 2025 retirees.
Yes, we would like to honor all of our folks that are finishing up their career with us this year. And we want to thank you for your services. As I call each of you to come up, you'll just kind of maybe tell us the number of years that you have given to the system and kind of maybe just a little summary of your different roles, if you've had different roles within the system. And once we finish, we have a small token of appreciation here. Ms. Hart will be taking a picture of each of you by the red screen back there. So again, thank you for all your years of service. Okay, so we'll get started. In no particular order, we have Pam Lucas, from Orchard Elementary. So how many years?
27.
27, all at Crab Orchard?
No, 23 in Lincoln County. Had 4 years in Bergen before I came here.
All physical education?
Yes, health and PE. In Bergen, it was K through 12. And here it's elementary.
It's all such a goodies to get you through. Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Hart will take your picture back there by the screen. Tanya Cathy from Crab Orchard Elementary.
Thank you.
How many years of service?
27.
27, all at Crab Orchard.
Yes, all at Bergen.
Various roles. What?
Kindergarten through 3rd grade, and then reading intervention.
Again, thank you for all your years of service.
Thank you.
Here's our- Lisa Arnold. How many years of service?
25.
25.
Yes.
All at Crab Orchard?
All at Bergen.
What roles?
I spent 17 years in preschool. I took a year off due to breast cancer. And then I came back and I spent 7 years in kindergarten. And I owe it all to Christine Gilman. She is, I think,
Mentor.
Mitchell. I love that lady. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Tracy Griffin could not be with us tonight. She has a new grandbaby. She is retiring from the district here. She, let's see if I can remember. Tracy started out as a counselor for us in the system at our alternative school, then went to the high school. And then she's been as the DAC here, the District Assessment Coordinator. And her role that she's retiring from right now has been Technology Coordinator. So you'll join me in recognizing Tracy Griffin for her years of service. I think we have Miss Kathy Adams. Worked with this one several years. How many years?
I'm working on 33.
33.
So I started out at Rockingham and then came to Crown Orchard and still working with them with preschool and in the classroom also. Instructional assistant in the computer lab and then to Central Office. So I spent 16 years at Crab Orchard and the rest of it's been district.
Kathy's leaving us, like she said, from the district. She's kind of a support person for our staff across the district and been a great year.
She's
service. Thank you again. Terry Graham, I think, is retiring from the Transportation Department. How many years of service?
No, third hand way up, say longer.
All in transportation?
Terry, what was the youngest that you actually drove a bus?
1979, my senior year. Yeah, think about that a minute. Where you start from,
That's
you
why I
have
asked
to
you
go
to
back.
tell it, because when you told me, I was like, come on now, you're going to believe it.
That's right.
Thank
Vicki Barnett. Vicki with us? Mr. Kreger, you know how many years of service for Vicki?
I do not know. I do not know her total year.
Karen Ferris? She with
No
us?
Karen's.
Everybody.
Karen not here?
29 years.
29 years.
Driving the bus.
All
Moving Highland at 17 Spain.
many, many miles.
All our moms.
All right, again, thank you for all your years of service. Appreciation.
If I remember correctly, Karen had some of the longest routes there was in the county.
Well, honey,
If I remember correctly, you had some of the longest routes that was.
at Highland I did, and I didn't sign in on that paper back there this time. Morning.
Okay, I appreciate that. She thought it was a sign-in sheet.
Next on our list is Miss Judy Russell. Judy retired, I think, was it about September, November? Sometime, from the district here. She had been clerk at Houstonville Elementary, and she had been the district attendance clerk for the last several years. I'm not for sure if there were any other roles that she played while she was at Houstonville. So you'll join me in recognizing Miss Judy Russell. Okay, next on our list is Rhonda McKnight. How many years of service?
29 years.
29 years. I think you've been at several locations, right?
Crab Orchard for 22 years. I was reading interventionist in 2nd and 3rd grade. Had 1 year where I was a reading recovery teacher in the morning and a kindergarten teacher in the afternoon. I split that year with Julia Duncan. And then the last 7 years I've been at Highland as an instructional coach.
Thank you for all your years of service.
Thank you.
Emma Mullins. How many years of service?
20.
20 years. All in food service?
Yeah.
All in food service?
Yeah. Red line, bus stop.
Okay, bus monitor.
Started out. And then I went to, and then I went to college. And that's it.
Thank you for all your years. of
You're welcome.
service. I think Penny Greer could be with us tonight. I think she's on vacation. Penny, Rosemond may can help me out here. She's retiring from Holland. She has been the attendance clerk there several years. I'm not for sure. Is there any other roles that she's played?
She's been in the district for 33 years total.
Okay.
I know she started out at the high school as a special ed instructional assistant, and then she came to Highland, and she's been there for many, many years. So,
The attendance clerk.
yeah.
Yes. So join me in recognizing Miss Penny Greer. Okay, next on our list is Pam Mason. Congratulations. How many years of service?
I have 4 years bus monitor, 4 years in Holland.
All in Holland?
4 was in Holland. 4 Waynesburg bus monitor. She was my bus monitor.
Okay.
Yes, I was. She was a good one too.
Again, thank you for your years of service. Please run
Appreciate you.
Crystal Hart. I don't think Crystal could be with us tonight either. She is retiring from Houstonville Elementary, and she is currently serving as the librarian there. I'm not for sure if there's any other roles. Anyone know?
She's only been in the district 1 year.
Okay, next we have on our list Marcy Ellis. Next is Chris Willems, Stanford Elementary.
31 in Lincoln, 1 versus 2 years.
Music, technology.
Started out music at Stanford, at Waynesburg and Kings Mountain, was there for 6 or 7 years, and then transferred into technology at Stanford, and then went back to music and doing both, so, yeah, so, 31. Just very excited.
And next on our list is Rodney Sims. I think I saw Rodney.
There he
All right. In the year of service, sir, I think you've been in some different roles.
Not as many as them guys. I think about 4.5. Maybe.
Drove the bus.
Drove the bus for like 3, I think. And then towed into the high school for a year.
Custodial work.
Sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for all your
But
years of
it was
service.
a good place to work.
Thank you. All right, that's all the folks I have. Again, thank you for all the many years. I think if you took and added up all those years, you would see we would have hundreds of years of service. And again, on behalf of the Board of Education, we want to thank you for all your years of service. And we wish you the best in this next chapter of your life. Or any of the board members want to say anything?
I would like to, because I think it's so important. The years that you all have put in and the service and dedication that you've had to the students, there's no way that you can even describe that. And we've got a wonderful school district, and it's because of dedicated staff, teachers, custodians, cooks, bus drivers, you name the role, and it's so important to the children and especially to their families to know that they're well cared for when they're in their care. So thank you on my behalf.
Again, let's give all the retirees another round of applause. All right, that concludes our recognition part. The board will stand at ease for a few moments. You are more than welcome to stay for the remainder of the meeting. If not, have a great summer and grab you some refreshments on your way out. Thanks.
Enjoy.
Oh, it's hard. On my back. You gotta go over. Congratulations. No, it's the back. Further half. It's on this side, but it's not. I go to London and go out. We go past London and we go. Turn somewhere to get to it. I've been past. All right. Jim, yours on that.
We'll start with our action items.
Maybe.
4A, Lincoln County High School renovations, Jason Merritt.
So you should have had in your packet, right, Colleen? That's the plans for schematic approval of schematic plans for the next building we're doing. This package two is some work for the at the turf, for the baseball, softball fields, a addition to the field house, more weight room space. And some bathrooms that are much needed at the baseball concession use area, and new stairs there running through the high school. So the item should be to approve schematic plans for that. The bid package too.
Any questions? Here are a motion to approve the bid package 2 schematic plans for the Lincoln County High School renovation sports field.
I'll make a motion.
Tyler, second by Jen, vote, Philip,
Yes.
Jen,
Yeah.
Tyler,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Thank you.
Just as a brief update, we had our pre-construction meeting on Monday with the contractors, subcontractors at the high school, and they're going like gangbusters up there already. They're already in there. The demolition contractor is the first thing. So they're already in there, tearing out ceiling and floor tile, and they're already getting. Talked to Brad Smith this morning. He said that they were going to start in the lower level of the high school as their first area. He said they've already branched out up in another hallway, and they're going. So,
Would you remind us what's going into this, what they're doing on this first one?
This phase is renovation of all of what we call gang toilets, the 2 sets of bathrooms on the first floor. Those will be totally gutted and refurbished, new fixtures and finishes. All the corridors will get new lighting, flooring, paint, new ceilings. We are replacing the gymnasium floor. Your 50-year-old gym floor is going to be a new one by the time summer's over. Trying to remember all little things that go into this. I think new carpet in the front office area. A little bit of work. Oh, a new PA system through the whole building. So I think everybody's excited. Okay.
Bleachers.
The bleachers, yeah, that was actually a separate thing you guys contracted with Codevine to do, but the lower set of bleachers on the gym floor will be replaced. I know there's some little things in here that I'm forgetting, but that's the main gist of it. But it's a pretty good facelift for a decent chunk of the building, and it'll make a big difference.
Thank you, Jason. 4B, Health Services Proposal, Anthony.
I'm asking that we approve the bid from Cumberland Family Medical for medical, dental, health, and optometry services for the 25-26 school year. This was the only bid, and it's pretty much the same deal that we had last year, except I think we're getting a little bit better deal than we did last year, about 10%.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion to approve the bid from Cumberland Family Medical for medical, dental, health, and optometry services for the 2025-2026 school year? Jen makes the first motion, second, Philip, vote, Philip,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Thank you, Anthony. 4C, Chromebook purchase, Jeannie.
So I'm presenting for Tracy Griffin, so I hope you guys don't have a whole lot of questions for me, but I'll try to answer. In order to keep devices current, we need to replace some old teacher devices. Be about approximately 125 devices that cost about $480 a piece. So we're asking that the board approve purchasing of teacher Chromebooks for about $60,000. We'll be using PETS funding to do that.
Any questions?
What do we do with the old ones? Is there a recycling plan for our laptops? I'm not trying to put you out, I'm just curious.
Yeah, when they get to where they're not usable at all, we rob, steal every part we can to service others. They're recycled through a company, I think it's out of Indiana. And then they send us a list, they destroy the hard drives. We get paid a tiny bit for them.
They're mostly wore out by the time that we get to that point.
Yeah, there's no use left in it when we get done with it.
My technology was here to answer that.
Well, I would have asked it. If you didn't have good backup, I would have asked you.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion to approve the purchase of teacher Chromebooks? Philip first,
I'll say.
Tyler second, vote, Philip,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Thanks, Jen. 4D, 21st CCLC MOA. And that's Bruce.
Yes, this is, we have received our two 21st century grants, and so this is the memorandum of agreement for the 25-26 school year. You have a copy of it there.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion to approve memorandum of agreement with the Commonwealth of Kentucky for the 2025-2026 21st Century Community Learning Centers? Jen, motion, second.
I'll say.
Tyler, vote, Philip,
Yes.
Jen, Tyler,
Yes.
and I vote yes. 4E, gear up trip to Bowling Green, Julie Mayer.
We would like to take our students that are attending our summer enrichment camp next week to Bowling Green to tour the Corvette plant and museum, have lunch, and hopefully go to Western for a brief tour. And where it's out of the normal mileage radius, I just needed to ask your permission to do so, please.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion to approve the gear up trip to Bowling Green on June the 9th, 2025? Philip, second, Jen, vote, Philip,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Thank you, Julie. 4F, restructure of the technology department. Bruce.
Okay, with Tracy's retirement, we're looking at trying to restructure there. So asking the board that you abolish that director's position. And then it's kind of tied in with the next item, 4G. We'll be asking the board to create the specialist position, which will be a classified position, and be adding it to the salary schedule, which is later also on the agenda.
Okay. Any questions?
So how is all this gonna tie into what our technology department's responsibilities and how that's gonna work? Because the new position is a classified position, so obviously they're not gonna have the responsibilities of a director.
I'm restructuring, I'm gonna give that responsibility as the director to one of the existing directors.
Right.
And so
They add it to their.
it'll be another added responsibility to them. Kind of, we've had to cut at the school, so I feel like I need to cut at the district level as well. So there'll be some savings here by doing that, so.
Do you know who we're giving that to?
Yes.
Can you tell us?
It's not the board's
Probably not.
business to talk about individuals.
I can't really tell you that.
Well, I kind of feel like in a way it matters.
Absolutely isn't.
No.
The board doesn't get to decide which position. to
Well, no,
create or
I'm not
abolish
trying to
based on
decide
who's
who
doing
gets
it.
it. What I don't want is for somebody to get overloaded. We're talking about
It's not your,
abolishing a directing position and
it's not the board's business to decide which people fill which roles. So you have a recommendation as to what positions exist and don't exist, but it just the board doesn't get to decide who you think ought to have what responsibilities or whether you think somebody's overworked or.
got it. How many current directors do we have right now then, including the technology director? How many directors do we have?
If you look at the organizational chart,
It's on the webpage.
yeah, we have the director of curriculum and instruction,
Be 9
the director of people personnel, we already counted them. 9.
with technology.
With technology.
That's including your assistant superintendent.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion to abolish the Director of Technology, Infinite Campus and Student Data position at the end of the 2024-2025 school year and remove it from the salary schedule?
I'll make it work.
Tyler, second. Jen, vote. Philip,
No.
Jen,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Motion carried. 4G, Technology Specialist position.
Again, just asking that this position be created. It's a 240-day position. Would begin, July 1 and add it to the salary schedule, which is on the salary schedule, which is a later item.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion to create a 240-day technology specialist position to begin in the 2025-2026 school year and add it to the salary schedule? Jen, second.
I'll second.
Tyler, vote. Philip,
Abstain.
Jen,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Thank you, Bruce. 4H, 2025-2026 salary schedule, Leanne.
Oh, no, what is
We gotta do the head teacher.
the teacher? She died.
Oh,
buildup, the mouse.
Oh,
it turned around on yours.
yes. it is.
Sorry.
Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's all right.
My bad. No, let's go ahead and do this. You wanted salary schedule, so if you don't
All
care.
right,
It's on the agenda, right? Sorry, I was looking at the screen.
we're going to skip 4H right now. We'll come back to
All right.
Leanne. For head teacher position, Bruce Smith.
Okay, we had several reviews of programs this past year, and so I'm looking to met with several of the directors and talked with the high school and middle school principal, looking at trying to revamp our alternative program. So going to be asking the board to create this head teacher position for 195 days. Again, this would start the next school year and add it to the salary schedule, and that's basically 10 extra days.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion to create a head teacher position for 195 days, beginning in the 2025-2026 school year, and add it to the salary schedule?
I'll make a motion.
Tyler, second.
Second.
Vote, Philip,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Thank you, Bruce. Now, Leanne.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's all right. I am recommending a 3% raise for classified and certified staff for the 25-26 school year. If you remember when we approved the tentative budget last month, I had built in a 2% raise, but I've done a lot of refiguring, some negotiating, some calculating, and I feel comfortable putting a 3% raise into our budget. With regard to our certified staff, a nice number I'd like to show off is that with a 3% raise next year and the 7% raise we gave this current year, that'll be a 10% raise in 2 years' time. And if you compare that to all of our neighboring school districts, that's the largest percentage raise in 2 years' time. So I think that's pretty remarkable. Since the 2019-2020 school year, certified raises have equaled 18%. Classified staff, we've made great strides with our classified salaries. The average raise for classified staff has been around 10% for these 2 years' time as well. And then I'm going to give you some areas of increase we've seen since the 2019-2020 school year. Our cooks have seen a 36% increase, custodians 31%, bus drivers 27%, instructional assistants 31%, bookkeepers 25%, maintenance 24%. Of course, I just grabbed from some diverse areas just to give you an idea. So definitely headed in the right direction. I'm excited with everything we've got going on to be able to provide a 3% raise if the board so chooses to our staff. And then would you guys like me to go through some of the changes with you? Through the Jeannie salary actually schedule? prepares the packet you all have. I just say put this in there. So she does all the hard work and she wants to walk
Do you
through
want
some
me
of
to go through
that.
those with you?
So I think you have the new salary schedule, obviously, on pages 3, 4, and 5. That's just updated to the 25-26 information for the upcoming school year. If you go to the next changes, will be on page 8. You're going to see an updated look there also. We added a column for the doctoral stipend. That used to be on page 11, just as a stipend, but you'll see it's a column for doctoral salaries now, and that's just the $2,000 additional stipend. You'll see that located there. You'll also see the updated headings, and at the bottom, we clearly defined central office directors, which were on page 9 also. So that was the changes on page 8. On page 10, you'll see in red, these are the things we added, the instructional technology specialist position. You'll see at the top column, top rows. You'll see on page 11, the 21st century director, you're going to see an index. Instead of the $1,000 per school stipend, they changed it to an index. It's the same amount. It's not changing the amount that they make. It's just an index instead of a stipend now per school. The district counselor, when we created that position, that was when we had mental health therapists in our district. We hired them. We now use family medical. So this district counselor acts more in the capacity of a school counselor for both preschool and elementary. So she is on the same scale as the other elementary counselors now. The head teacher alternative program you'll see has been added. Migrant coordinator is the same thing as 21st century. We changed the stipend amount from the $1,000 a school to an index. It's the exact same amount that they were making before. They'll obviously have the 3% raise just like everyone else. It's the same amount. On the next column, you'll see National School Psychologist Board Certification. We have been paying them under the national board stipend, but it's a little different, so we thought we should add that to the salary schedule. We've been paying it all these years. We just used the national board stipend and ran it through that, so we just added that. along with the speech language path certification. We've been paying that for years. We just ran it under national board. So we wanted to clarify on our salary schedule. The student apprentice, student worker. So we have what's called Apprenticeship Building America program, which we started last year. And this is required for a student apprentice worker. We have to have a rate and we have to give a raise at some point in time before they graduate. So looking at other districts and talking to Jaron Adams, which is our career support specialist who works with this program, we went along with what some of the other districts have done and recommending $10 an hour and eligible for 50 cents an hour after 6 months with supervisor recommendation after working 6 consecutive months. We also wanted to include our because not everyone qualifies for her program, and I don't want some students to get $10 an hour and some students to get $7.25 an hour. So we included all student workers in there. We're talking probably maximum 15 students. We're not talking about a lot of students there. So we wanted to do that for both the student apprenticeships and the student workers. If you go to page 13, the middle school, they revised their stipend schedule because he wanted to add an FFA sponsor. Again, it's the exact same amount that you guys approved when he came before you earlier this year. He's just revised the amounts a little bit so that he could add that FFA sponsor amount in there. The athletic supervision, which you're going to see on pages 13 and the last page 15. So these are paid out of athletic funds, and we've evidently been paying them all along, but they were never listed on our salary schedule. So we wanted to make sure that those were on there and visible for everyone to see. They're paid from athletics, but it is part of our district too. So we wanted to add those.
Going back to classified, I noticed we're getting very close to the very minimum amount of 15 per hour of classified. I would love to see it get there. The very minimum would be 15.
We're getting there.
I know. Really appreciate that. A lot of good work there.
Any questions?
Any questions? Okay. Let's see. Are we voting?
Yes.
Where am I? Oh, salary statement. 4H, do I hear a motion to approve the 2025-2026 salary schedule?
I'll make a motion.
Tyler, second. Jen, vote. Philip?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Thank you both, ladies. Let's see, moving to discussion items. 5A, 2025 policy updates and 3.
All right, we only received the updates to the policies and procedures. Of course, you have on this agenda the policies, which will be your first reading. We'll have a second reading, next week along with the procedures, which would be up for review. Kind of in the information, I think Colin also did like a summary of each of those. If you look at each of the policies at the top, there is an explanation of the reason. I guess a good summary, basically everything that's being recommended by KSBA is a change from regulate or from a session. So we can time to go through each of those. I know you've had those in your packet. This week, if you're looking through and have a question about one of them, let us know and try to answer those.
Really appreciate Colleen summarizing them for us, because I mean, that was stacked, was like this, and
you did it pretty quickly.
Yes,
That
you
was
did.
impressive.
Yes. Appreciate that. Any questions? All right, 5B, insurance renewal rates, Leanne.
Well, it's only got these insurance rates in. Bad news, it went up. The good news, I made it to go up a little bit more than it did. So we were in okay shape. Our insurance coverage must be in place by July the 1st of each year. Our renewal quote is through Bluegrass Risk Management. in the amount of $673,193. This is a 13% increase from last year, which amounts to an increase of a little over $77,000. This includes our property, general liability, professional, automobile, and umbrella coverage. Just food for thought. Last year, we were initially going to go with Liberty Mutual. And then like in the last minute, we got a quote from Bluegrass Risk Management and switched to them. I looked back just to see what our Liberty Mutual quote was for this 24-25 year, and it was $735,000. So even still, even with a big increase, we're substantially lower than we would have been with Liberty Mutual, even this year. So, I mean, that was a good move, the move to Bluegrass Risk Management, but I think that's just going to be the trend going forward is an increase in premium. So I'm asking that you all would accept that quote from Bluegrass Risk Management for the 25-26 school year. So between that increase and the increase in our workers' comp, it's about $100,000, for next year compared to current year.
Any questions?
I'll just say that's a big number, but the percentage wise, it's really not as bad as it could have been because insurance as a whole has went up by more than that.
Right. Just hopeful it kind of pumps the brakes a little bit. But I mean, it is what it is. Not a lot of options.
Any questions? 5C, 2025-2026 SRO agreement.
Yeah, I got the SRO contract from Zach Middleton, so I've attached that for you all to take a look at. The proposal for the 25-26 school year is to keep an SRO in each school. And the total for the year would be $367,000, $367,700. That amounts to about $92,000 a quarter that we would have to pay them. Just throw out some other numbers. For this current year, we will be paying $348,000. In 23-24, we paid out $282,000. And then when you look back, prior to that, we were paying out $80,000. Of course, that's obviously when we increased, our coverage. So it would be $367,000 for the year. So this one went up too, but I also had it going up more in my budget than it did. So
how much of that is reimbursed? I know we get some reimbursement for SROs.
So initially we were to get $20,000 reimbursed per campus, and the high school and middle school only counted as one campus since they were on the same property. But they've come back and said that they're going to allow, for instance, high school and middle school that are at the same location to count as two separate campuses. So we did receive $120,000 reimbursement this year. Then they've said if there's money left and you did have SROs you weren't reimbursed for, you can submit. So I did ask for the additional $20,000, and they said it just depends if there's funding left at the end of this year that we might see $20,000. But next year and going forward, we should have $140,000 reimbursed. So that definitely helps.
5D school fee list.
Yes, this is something that we're required to do in accordance with Red Book and our own policy 09.15. The board shall annually adopt and publish a fee schedule for all of our schools. The approved fees shall remain in place until they're modified or removed by the board. And so I'll just be asking you all to approve the fee list for all the schools for the 25-26 school year. You can see it kind of broken out by school, and then there are some district-wide expenses listed at the bottom. I have the principals and the bookkeepers review these annually, and we tweak it, by a little bit every year. Remove some items, it just kind of depends. But that would be the fee list unless you all modified or changed it going forward.
Any questions? 5E MOAs with KDE.
The Commonwealth of Kentucky wishes to enter into an MOA with the Lincoln County Board of Education for the services of James Carrier as Educational Recovery Leader, Chris Murray as Educational Recovery Leader, and Debbie Sims as Educational Recovery Leader. So I'll just be asking you all to approve those MOAs for the 25-26 school year.
Any questions?
What is a recovery leader?
I'm sorry?
What does that mean?
What?
To be a recovery leader?
You got me, I don't know.
Those schools that are in like CSI status across the state, they have this person assigned to them to work, try to up their Yes, got your scores.
Any other questions?
So basically, they're our employee, they're on our payroll, but we are reimbursed by the state because they are doing the work of KDE. We do receive, some indirect costs from that, maybe like between 3,000 and 4,000 per contract for like payroll processing and my calculations that I have to send in and work to get these contracts fine tuned.
I'm charging the overtime rate, man.
That's probably, I would if I could.
5F statement form with Northern Kentucky University. Bruce?
It's a very similar, it's just agreement with the Northern Kentucky University for Ms. Madison to work with them half-time, and then she'll be with us half-time. They would like to have her to work with the numeracy project. Okay.
Any questions?
We're not losing out on giving her away that much time. As within the district.
I wanted to kind of work with, they wanted her full-time, I'm sure they did. So we kind of, in just, discussion, said, so I think we'll probably end up with her more days here. She'll be working here, and so it's going to be probably about half and half.
Any other questions?
That's not a very good answer.
We compromised.
Yeah.
5G 2025-2026 emergency certified teachers. Gina.
Yes, I have done this for the last 4 or 5 years, at least since COVID. There's an ongoing shortage of certified teachers across key subjects, which obviously impacts our ability to maintain staffing ratios and ensure consistent instructional delivery. I've included the teacher shortage area report that KEPS puts out for the state. I think that's in your all's packet. We are in the Southeast South Central cooperative, so you will see our shortages listed on page 6 and page 8. However, we butt up to Boyle County, Danville, which are in CKEC's shortage area. So to say that we can't find a middle school math teacher is a shortage area in Boyle County and not a shortage area in Lincoln County, I think is not realistic. So anyways, that's why I ask you guys to go ahead and approve the hire of emergency certified teachers as needed for the 25-26 school year. That way that speeds up the hiring process. We don't have to wait for a board meeting to approve the hire of a certified teacher, and it will just be on an as needed basis.
Any questions?
Gotta have them.
And we didn't have that many emergency certified teachers last year. How many did we have, Diane? Just a handful. 3. Yeah, there wasn't many. So we're doing better, but I don't want to put schools when it's time to start school. I don't want to hamper their hiring because we have to wait for a board meeting. So.
Right. Good call. 5A substitute teachers for 2025-2026 school year. Colleague.
I need to get board approval in order to get emergency certified substitute teachers, and that's anyone who wants to work as a substitute teacher and has the less than a teaching certificate in 64 hours or a bachelor's degree to get an emergency certification.
Any questions? All right, thank you, Colleen. 5I procedure revisions, Bruce.
Okay, this is part of the work from the District Advisory Committee that was established by the board. One of the subcommittees worked on looking at policies and procedures. Of course, most of your policies and procedures are kind of guided like the earlier policies and procedures that we talked about are, guided by regulations. But there were a few things that we needed to clean up here. For example, on the notice to individuals complaining of harassment and discrimination, we needed to update some contact information there. Also on the reporting form for harassment and discrimination, the subcommittee felt like we needed the definition there, just to kind of reinforce that when this report's actually being made. ASBA actually recommended we not do that, but they said we'll do it if you want to. So we asked them to, go along with the wishes of the subcommittee. So that definition was added onto that form. And then on the bullying reporting form, same thing, just reinforced what the definition of bullying is.
Any questions?
Now, there will be some other changes coming from the handbook committee. That's where a lot of changes were made from that advisory group. We wanted to kind of wait before the handbook so that, because some of the policies and procedures that we had on the agenda earlier will cause some changes there. So they'll be talking, Ms. Hart and Mr. Wheeler will be talking about some of those recommended changes from the committee when they present that.
Any questions? 5J, update to personal leave policy. Bruce.
Okay, I was looking up something the other day and just realized that policy never was updated when the board gave the extra personal day last year. It still said 2, so recommending that be updated.
Any questions? Have public comment, Colleen.
Yes, Gloria Smith.
Gloria.
Gloria, I got you, because I didn't bring the payment.
Okay,
All right,
you got my 2 minutes.
I got you 2 minutes.
Okay. I wanted to start with, restructuring the technology department. When I see restructure, my heart skips a beat, because when you don't hire somebody back for a position and give that job to somebody else, how many fires are they already stomping out? And can they really do the work of another job? And then head teacher position, of course, here, I don't know where the money's coming for this, but our bookkeeper has repeatedly stated, please do not add no new positions. And we sat right here and added a new position, and it might be the funds out of this or out of that, or no big deal, but I mean, I just sat right there and watched you all add another position. And procedure revisions. I'm looking forward to the rest that come out of all those committee meetings. I asked you all to please not just have meetings and have meetings and have meetings and do nothing. Please, let a little bit more than that come out of this. Thank you. How much time I got left, Colleen? Maybe I need to do Old McDonald Had a Farm or something.
We will now move to executive session to close session pursuant to KRS 61.81016 for discussion of proposed or pending litigation. Do I hear a motion? Tyler? Jen, second. Vote Philip?
Yeah.
Jen? Yes. Tyler? And I vote yes. We are back in open session, no action to be taken. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Tyler first,
Second?
Philip second, vote Philip,
Yes.
Jen? Yes. Tyler?
Yes,
And I vote yes.
thank you very much. Mine broke in my pocket earlier and I forgot to